Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm audible to you. Okay, we'll start the session. Before that, let me just revise what we have discussed yesterday. So yesterday we had discussed about the first about the how to host the website using the HTTPS protocol. For that, we need to create the certificate. So we have created self-signed certificate. After that, we discussed the FTP server through which how we can upload and download the files. Then after that, we discussed the WDS through which we deployed the OS. Okay. So with this topic WDS is completed. So today we need to complete this Hyper-V and remote access service, that is VPN. So we'll start with the Hyper-V. So Hyper-V is one of the product of the virtualization. So today our session we are starting with what? Virtualization. So virtualization is a technology through which on a single physical machine we can create multiple virtual machines. On that virtual machines, multiple virtual machines, we can install any OS as per our requirement. So this virtualization concept is used when we want to use our resources to maximum effect or optimum level, and also to save the cost factor. Like example, our course. So to do this course, minimum how many machines we are using every day? Two machines. Suppose if you are not using the VMware, VMware is also one of the product of the virtualization. So by the help of the VMware, what we have done, we install the VMware on our physical machine, and on the VMware we have created multiple virtual machines. So I'm taking simultaneously Linux batch, MCSE batch, okay, multiple MCSE batch, multiple Linux batch. So how it is possible from my single laptop? Because I'm using the virtualization. You also able to do all the practical on a single laptop. Every day we are doing the practical in two machines. So are you using two laptops? No, only one laptop. So what we have done on a single laptop, that is our physical machine. Laptop is our physical machine. On that, we install the VMware. And on that, we created how many machines we want. We can and install it. And simultaneously, we can run multiple machines. Like we are using DC also members are also. So today, when we do the practical, VPN, we need three machines. So are you using three laptops? No, in single we are able to do. How it is possible? Through virtualization. So virtualization is a technology through which we can create on a single physical machine multiple virtual machines. And simultaneously those multiple machines we can run without any problem. So before the virtualization technology, we were having dual booting. So as the name indicates, dual booting, in that we can have in one machine two OS. So in one machine, we used to have two operating system. So if you use one operating system, we cannot use the other operating system. So at one time, only one OS we can use. And here in the dual booting, if one OS get corrupted, it will ultimately lead to the corruption of the other OS. But that type of problem we don't get in the virtualization. So now everybody is talking about the cloud, whether it is a AWS, Azure, the Google cloud. Everywhere, whenever you use the cloud, in the cloud, the most important thing is, in every cloud, what is the most commonly used technology? In the cloud technology, what is the most commonly used technology? Virtualization. So there is no cloud without virtualization. In the cloud, used, we use what? Virtualization. So without virtualization, there is no cloud. So today we are going to discuss using the Hyper-V, how we can create a virtual machine. So Hyper-V is the product of the Microsoft company who designed their virtualization with the name Hyper-V. Like the Dell company have their virtualization product with the name VMware. So most of the people are using VMware. So that is the product of the Dell company. Now the Microsoft company also entered into the market of the VMware. So they have launched or released their own product with the name Hyper-V. The concept is same, the purpose is same. Virtualization can be done by using different product, different technologies. Like we have, like we have VMware, Hyper-V, VirtualBox, so many are there. Most commonly is VMware. So now the Microsoft company also released with their server OS Hyper-V. So from that also we can create a virtual machine, multiple virtual machine and install the OS in different multiple machine, different OS as per our requirement, and simultaneously we can run them. And when we don't need, we can switch off whenever we want to use. We can power on without disturbing our physical machine. So if one machine get corrupted, a virtual machine, it will not affect the other virtual machine. But if your physical machine get corrupted, all machines will get affected, virtual machines. Okay. So what is the technology we are going to discuss today? Hyper-V. So what is the technology we are discussing today? Hyper-V. So Hyper-V is one of the product of the virtualization, which is designed by the Microsoft company. So we are going to discuss today Hyper-V. So Hyper-V is one of the product of the virtualization through which we can create on a single physical machine multiple virtual machines. So Hyper-V is a product which is designed by the Microsoft company. So this is available from 2012 onwards. So using this Hyper-V, we can do the virtualization. So what is virtualization? Virtualization is a technology through which on a single physical machine, we can create multiple virtual machines and install the OS, multiple OS, and work on multiple OS as per our requirement without getting affected with any issue. So it will work same like a physical machine. So why we are using this concept? To use our resources to maximum effect, optimum level, and at the same time, it will save a lot of cost factor. Like I told you, simple example. If you are not using the VMware for this course, simple example, we have to use minimum 2 to 3 laptops. But in one laptop you are able to do, so your cost factor is saved. Not only this course, other courses also you can simultaneously do it. So by using the virtualization, we can save our using that we can create multiple virtual machine and work by which we can use our resources to the maximum level and also able to save the resources by which our cost factor can be saved. Okay, so Hyper-V introduced in Windows 2012 is designed to, yes, it has been designed. It has been designed to create a multiple machine on a single physical machine, thereby to use our resources to maximum effect and save the cost factor. One minute. So I can use this Hyper-V, which is a product of the Microsoft company, which can be used to create multiple virtual machines system to use. Why we are using this? To use our resources to maximum level. Okay, so this is the basic idea using the virtualization. Okay, so now see here, we have virtualization two types. You are not able to see my screen. You are able to see the content now because one of, no, you are not able to see. Okay, then I'll just log out. I'll just log out and relog in because one of our friend has sent me the message on the WhatsApp. Their content is not visible. Is it visible now? Is it visible? So then please wait. I will log out and relog in. Okay. Just please wait, all of you. I will just log out and relog in. You able to see now my screen? Okay. Okay, I'll continue. So what I told you earlier, virtualization is a technology through which we can create on a single physical machine multiple virtual machines. Multiple virtual machine. Thereby we can use our resources to be maximum level or optimum level, and also by which we can save a lot of cost factor. Like I said you, a simple example, our course minimum two machines, but we are doing single laptop using what? VMware. If you are not using the VMware, you have to purchase minimum two laptop to do this course. Yes. Okay. So here I told you also VMware is the sorry, virtualization is the, you can say, backbone of the cloud. So without cloud, sorry, without virtualization, there is no cloud. So if you want the more depth knowledge about the VMware, we have a separate course which will be about 1 month. In Zoom Technologies, we have 1 month course. If you are interested, if you want, you can join that also. So you'll get a full 1 month course about the VMware technologies. Okay. But today our role is what? Using the Hyper-V, how to create a virtual machine and install the OS as per our requirement. So Hyper-V is the, so how many types of virtualization we have? How many types of virtualization we have? So we have two types of virtualization. So virtualization is a technology through which on a single physical machine, we can create multiple virtual machine. So I repeat once again. So virtualization is a technology through which on a single physical machine, we can create multiple virtual machines. So that is called virtualization. On a single physical machine, we can create multiple virtual machine. So that is called virtualization. So we have two types of virtualization. Software virtualization, software virtualization, and hardware, software virtualization, hardware virtualization. So how many types of virtualization we have? Two types, software and hardware. So here you can see the Hyper-V is a hardware virtualization that is available from Windows 2012 server operating system. So in the 2008, it was there? No. Now, what is the difference between hardware virtualization and software virtualization? We'll discuss that just within few minutes. So hardware virtualization means which take the resources, or hardware virtualization provide the virtual machine with the direct access to the virtualization server hardware. So I repeat, hardware virtualization, it means where the virtual machine will take the resources directly from the physical machine itself without any OS. So I repeat, hardware virtualization is one in which the virtual machines will take the resource, or the virtual machine to the virtual machine resources is given. So if you work on physical machine or virtual machine, you require mainly three resources on which the performance or the machine performance will depend. What are those three things? Suppose you are saying to your friend, today I'm going to buy the new laptop. Immediately he will ask what? Or if you go to the shopkeeper and says to him, show one new laptop, what he will ask? What he will ask? Yes, he will ask, what is the configuration you are looking for? So the performance or the speed of the laptop or the computer depends on three things. So those things are comes under configuration, like In the configuration, main thing is processor memory, RAM memory, processor memory, RAM memory, and type of hard disk, which type of hard disk you are using. Okay, so I repeat once again, hardware virtualization is one which take the resources directly from the physical machine itself without any medium, that is without any OS. Directly it will take the resources. So that type of virtualization is called hardware virtualization. So, so the virtualization, whether it is a uh, software virtualization or hardware virtualization or directly a physical machine, the performance of the machine depends on three factors. That is called configuration. What are those three factors? First of all, processor. The first main thing is processor. Which version of the processor? Yes, you are using. So, so I repeat once again, the performance of the machine, like when you says to the shopkeeper or to a friend, I'm buying today or want to buy one new laptop. So they will ask you immediately configuration. What is the configuration you are looking for? Configuration means the machine or computer, first of all, processor, which generation, what is its speed. So the performance of the computer depends on, first of all, on the processor. Second is RAM. The higher the RAM, the more faster it will work. The first factor processor. Second factor memory. That is RAM. The higher is the RAM, the more faster it will work. And the third one is what? Okay. So the performance of the machine depends on three factor: processor, type of processor, generation. It's yes, how many inputs it will take per second. Okay. Processor speed. Second one is RAM. The more or the higher the RAM, more faster it will work. And third one is the type of hard disk. So which type of hard disk will work faster? SSD. So SSD hard disk will work faster, yes. So if the resources, whether you work on physical machine or virtual machine, these three things are required compulsory. Without that, machine cannot work. So what are the three resources it required? Okay. So if these three resources, processor memory, RAM memory, hard disk memory, directly given to the virtual machine, or the virtual machine directly take these resources like physical memory, the processor memory, RAM memory, and hard disk memory directly from the machine, from the physical machine itself, without any OS. That is called hardware virtualization. Okay. So hardware virtualization provides virtual machine with a direct access to this virtual servers hardware. So resources can be directly taken from the physical machine itself without any OS. Whereas in the software virtualization, the virtual machine which we create will not able to take the processor memory, RAM memory. a hard disk memory directly by itself. It will take the okay. So in the software virtualization, these three resources, processor memory, RAM memory, and hard disk memory, without giving the hard disk space, can you create a virtual machine? No. So when we create a virtual machine, we need to give three resources: processor memory, RAM memory, and hard disk size. Without that, virtual machine cannot be created. Same way, when you are working on a physical machine, on the physical machine also, from the physical machine also, you have to give the minimum RAM, processor, and hard disk. From the hard disk, the memory or the size. Without that, yes, without that, can the virtual machine also run? No. Can the physical machine run without these three things? No. So whether it is a physical machine or virtual machine, to operate the system, we need what? We need what? The three resources, which is called, what? Configuration. First of all, processor memory. Second one is RAM memory. Third one is what? Type of hard disk. Which type of hard disk you are using? So, okay. So here in the software virtualization, these three resources, processor memory, RAM memory, and hard disk space will be given to the virtual machine, not directly. It is given with the help of the operating system. So the operating system will provide the resources required for the virtual machine in software virtualization. Okay, so can I move to the next slide? So in the software virtualization, these resources in hardware virtualization, these three resources are taken directly from the physical machine without any OS. In the software virtualization, these three resources are given to this virtual machine with the help of the operating system. On operating system, we have to create a virtual machine in software virtualization. So the virtualization which we are already using to do this lab, that is software virtualization or hardware virtualization, tell me. Now see here, the virtual machine which I have created. So this comes under hardware virtualization or software, our DC member server. Yes, tell me. It is comes under hardware or software? Yes, software. So what I have done here? First I install the VMware. So on the VMware, I install the what? On the VMware, one application. What is that application? VMware. After installing, double click, next, install it. This icon will appear. So using this icon, you can, okay? Yes, we are using the software virtualization. So performance wise, which virtualization will be better? Which virtualization is better? Software virtualization is better or hardware virtualization is better? Performance wise, when it is related with the speed, uh, better security, better functions, better, you can say speed, everything depends on which one, software virtualization or hardware virtualization. Performance wise, which is better? Hardware virtualization is better. So in the software virtualization, if your physical OS, all these we have installed where on my Windows 10. These all virtual machine. I have created so many virtual machine. So these are my all virtual machines is working. If one virtual machine get failed, it will not affect the other virtual machine. But my physical OS is what? Windows 10. If my Windows 10 get corrupted, all this will be gone. But in the hardware virtualization, we are creating the virtual machine, giving the resources without any OS. Directly through the hardware virtualization, one product will be there. Through that, we'll create the virtual machine without any OS. So there, one virtual machine get failed, it will not affect. And here, one our OS get corrupted, everything gone. So that will not be there, that problem there. So performance-wise, hardware virtualization is better, but that you can see here. So have you understood the first slide, everyone? This slide, have you understood? Okay, so we have two types of virtualization. So how many types of virtualization we have? Virtualization is of two types, software virtualization and hardware. So what is the difference between in the hardware virtualization? The resources are taken directly. Resources, three things are required, physical machine or virtual machine, whether it is a software virtualization or hardware. Three things are required. What are those three things? What are those three things? So virtualization is of two types, hardware virtualization and the software virtualization. Performance wise, this is better hardware. So here also you require resource, here also. What are the three resources required? Processor memory, RAM memory, and hard disk memory. Without that, can you work? Like here, I created the virtual machines. So if I go to the virtual machines, so if I open any virtual machine, whether it is our DC, whether the process given RAM 2 GB, processor 1, hard disk this. Without these three things, can I create a virtual machine? Can we create a virtual machine? No. Same way, this is my physical machine. Now, in this physical machine, what I have? Here also I have my RAM, 8 GB RAM, my processor, i5, and my hard disk size. How to check your hard disk size? Windows X, disk management. What is my hard disk size? Which is about like 250 GB. So without this, can I able to use this computer physical machine? No. So whether it is a physical machine or virtual machine, resources are required. Three main resources: processor memory, RAM memory, or type of hard disk. If it is not there, the virtual machine also will not work, physical machine also will not work. Please remember this. So now coming to the first hardware virtualization. So hardware virtualization is called as bare metal virtualization. So hardware virtualization is called as bare metal. Bare metal. Because uh, type 1 hypervisor is nothing but hardware virtualization. So we are first talking about hardware virtualization. So hardware virtualization is called bare metal virtualization because here the virtual machine is created directly. So this hypervisor is directly installed on the hardware without any operating system, without any OS. So this hypervisor, that is hardware virtualization, hypervisor. It is called bare metal virtualization because this is directly installed on our physical machine. It's on our machine without any OS. So that's why it is called bare metal virtualization. Hardware virtualization is also called bare metal because that hardware virtualization product is directly installed on the hardware of the machine without any. So hypervisor is directly installed on the hardware without any OS. So that type of virtualization is called as hardware virtualization or bare metal. So performance wise, it is very robust, tough, and it is used in the live server, production server. So different companies have their different hardware virtualization. This is the company name, and this is their hardware virtualization product. It is hardware virtualization product name. Like here, the Microsoft have their own product with what name? Hyper-V. VMware company, which comes under the Dell, it has its own hardware virtualization product. Hardware virtualization product. And the name of that is not vSphere. So it is called as what? So if you are doing the course VMware in our Zoom, we are telling you on this one, VMware ESXi. ESXi. So this will be directly installed on the machine without OS. And through that, we'll create the virtual machine. And the virtual machine resources like processor memory, RAM memory, and the hard disk memory will be allocated by this product to the virtual machine. So this type of virtualization is called hardware virtualization. Citrix company have their Zen server. Okay. So you please remember, no company is giving this hardware virtualization free of cost. So all these are, we need to purchase. No company is giving this free of cost. We have to purchase this, not free. Okay, so this none of these products are free. We have to purchase and we can install on our machine without any OS. From that, we can create a virtual machine. So performance wise, they will be very good. Now come to the next one, type 2. Here, type 2 is called as, here, type 2 virtualization is called as software virtualization. So hardware virtualization is called bare metal, but it is called hosted virtualization because this is done on the operating system. Why it is called hosted? Because this virtualization is implemented or done on or with the help of the operating system. Because this is installed on the operating system. Because the software virtualization is implemented on operating system. It is installed on operating system. So because the software virtualization is implemented on so that's why it is called hosted. So performance wise it will be slow. So mostly it is not used in the production or live server. It is used for testing and lab purpose. So these are the company's name. These are the software virtualization product. Which is manufactured by different companies like the Microsoft Virtual Server, VMware Workstation, Oracle Box, sorry, Oracle from the Oracle company, Oracle Virtual Box. So these are either available in trial basis or free. So these are mostly available as a free or on the trial basis it is available. Okay, so now we will be discussing the Hyper-V. Using that, we will create a virtual server, software virtualization. Because already we are going to implement on our DC. From the DC, we will install the Hyper-V. From that, we'll create a virtual server, software virtualization. If you want to implement the hardware virtualization, you have to purchase the Hyper-V, directly install on the machine without any OS. Okay, so shall we start the practical? Shall we start the practical? So with the help of the Hyper-V, we have to create a virtual machine on the DC machine. But you have to remember now, today, our DC machine is also created through the VMware. So VMware is also similar like a virtualization product. So can we have our DC, which is already created through the VMware, can we install the Hyper-V by default? No, it will not support. So we have to do some modification. After that, it will support the installation of Hyper-V. Because our DC is also already created through the VMware. So our DC machine will not support by default the installation of Hyper-V. So to support the installation of Hyper-V on our DC machine, we have to make some changes. that I have written in the practical step file. I'll show you that. Then after making the changes, you can install the Hyper-V on our DC machine. Okay, so let's do that practical. So today we need only one DC machine for this virtualization. So let me power on this machine. So while the machine sorry, we need to power off first. We have to make some changes, sorry. So let me power off this machine. After making some changes, we have to power on. So I have written what changes you have to do it. What changes you have to do, I have written there. So which practical we are doing today? Hyper-V. So virtualization using the Hyper-V. So for that, what you have to do before you start the practical, since our DC machine is already created through the VMware, so it will not support by default the installation of Hyper-V. So we need to do some changes. What is the changes? Yeah, here I have written. First, your VM machine, that is your DC machine. That is your DC machine. So this is your DC machine. Should be power off. Then go to the E drive where your machine is created. In my case, I have created E drive. So in your case, where you have created, you go there. Open that. You will see three white icons. You can say that as a file or icon also you can say. Three white icons you can see. Open that file or that icons with notepad. Then go to the last line. After the last line, you have to copy these three lines. Don't write manually. Copy these three lines and paste it as it is. So it will support the installation of Hyper-V. So it will support the installation of Hyper-V. So these three lines we have to copy as it is. Hypervisor.cpuid.v0 is equal to, before is equal to space is there, after is equal to space. In quotation, double quotation, false, capital letter. MC.enable is equal to true. VH virtualization dot enable is equal to true. Okay, so these are the things you have to remember. So first I selected the three line. I'm copying it by using Control C. Now I'll show you where I have to paste this. So see here, my virtual machine. This is my DC machine. Yes. So don't power on this. So suppose if you have forgotten where you have created, you can just check here or go to your hard disk. Before you power on, under the devices, you go to the hard disk. So it will show you this machine is created where. So in my case, it is created E drive with the folder name MCSE 4 PM. So now I can remember this. So I'll go to my physical machine. I'll go to my physical machine. Then I'll go to the E drive. Then can you find here MCSE 4 PM? Yes, double click on this. So this is what I was saying. You can say three white file or three white icons. Open this. So you cannot open by double click. So select it or right click. You have to open this with some application. So open with the notepad. Right click, open with notepad. Now here you will have so many lines. So don't do any changes to the existing line. Otherwise your OS may get corrupted. Just simply using the down arrow key, come to the last line. Using the down arrow, come to the last line. So below the last line, now press Ctrl V to paste the three lines which we have copied. So did you able to paste now these three lines? Now once you do this, it will support the installation of Hyper-V on our DC machine, which is created through the VMware. If you have done this uh, your DC on physical machine without VMware, you can directly install the Hyper-V. But since we are using VMware to create to use or to configure our member server and DC. So these three lines we have to compulsory add it. Then it will support. If you don't add these three lines, it will not support the installation of Hyper-V on DC machine, which is created through VMware. Okay. So now once you create the pasted these three lines, save and come out. How to save it? Control S. Now you can power on and you can able to do the practical. So now you go to the DC machine, now power on. So while the machine get on, we can see the remaining steps. So after saving this, go to the DC machine in which you have done the changes. Open the server manager console, click on add roles and features. Click on next 3 times, check the Hyper-V box, add features next 5 times, then install. Compulsory you have to restart. ISO image is already there in our E drive yesterday we have done. Now open the Hyper-V manager, right click on your system name, new virtual machine. Give the size and you can proceed with the installation. Okay. Okay, let me show you this practical now. So first of all, I need to install the Hyper-V. So how to install it? Click on add roles and features. Then click on next 3 times. Then here check the Hyper-V, add the features. Then click on next 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now before install, you click on this box, check this box. Compulsory. Restart the destination service automatically if required, because it is required. So click on install. Now it will take about 2 minutes. So please wait. It will install and reboot. So as I told you, it will take some time. So please wait. Just a minute, I'm getting a call. 1 minute. Now you can see here the Hyper-V is got installed. So using the Hyper-V, we can create a virtual machine. Now it is got installed finally. Now using this Hyper-V, we can create a virtual machines. So for that, you go to the tools. Now you can find here Hyper-V Manager. Yes. Now how do you create a virtual machine now here? Right click here, new virtual machine. Next, name is new virtual machine. You can change also. Next. So I have only 512 RAM left out. So that is allocated. Next. Next. So here I'm installing these OS through which one? CD DVD, but I'm not having CD DVD. Here two options are there. We are having ISO image. Select, browse. So yesterday, while doing the practical, we have copied now WDS. So in my E drive under the web pages, I have the ISO image of the server OS. You give that, next, finish. So virtual machine is created. Same like I say, as we have done VMware, same way. Just we have to read next, next, give the path over. Virtual machine is created. Now you need to provide the resources. First, I need to connect here to the, first I need to connect to the switch. So here, if you see here, this machine is not connected to the switch. So select that, right click settings. So here you can see our network adapter, means our LAN card is not connected to a switch. So I need to connect it. So how to connect it? So here you can see, once you create a virtual machine, now create a virtual switch manager. Select the machine, right click, uh, new virtual switch manager here. So here we have three types of switches. External means which can communicate from VM to VM and also all the host machine. VM from VM to VM as well as to all the host machines, to all physical machine external. Internal means from VM to VM as well as to our one physical host machine. Private means only VM to VM it will communicate, but not with any host. Only VM to VM, not with any host. Here VM to VM plus our physical machine host. Here VM to VM, all our host. So best one is you can either create external or internal, but don't go with the private. So now suppose you are selected external, then click on create a virtual switch. Then you say apply, yes. Okay. So some error it's showing. Let me try to create one more time. So virtual switch manager, external, create external switch, apply, yes. So it's showing some error. So let me just go for the internal. I'll try to create. Now it's got created now. So now we can connect it. Now we can connect this. So select your machine. Now here, network adapter. Select here any virtual switch it's showing here. Still it is not updated. Just refresh here. Select your network adapter. Here it should show our switch. Yes, one switch is got created here. So let me try to connect it. Okay, let me create one more time the switch. So it should appear there. Here it is showing created, but it's not reflecting there. Let me just try once more. So let me create one new virtual switch. Cái này ra bên cạnh hả? Cái nào? Vẫn có được gặp cái phút. Cái nhà cho bình phút. Motion solo. Cái nào cái nào đi gặp cái đi vào. Tôi vào chưa được đang đi. Break nó được nhá. Okay, now let us connect it. Now our switch is appearing here. Now connect it. Now it is connected. Now same way you can also provide the hard disk. Now the switch is connected. You can provide the hard disk. So this is your dynamically expandable hard disk. That size we can able to resize or change it. So I have given some size, finished. Now we have given the hard disk size now. Now I can start the machine now. Hard disk size is given, processor is given, RAM is given, size is allocated. Now I can power on now. So how to power on this machine? Right click, connect. There it is power on, here it is connect. Now can you see here start? Yes. Now here installation is started. So first is what? Our language. And as you have done on the first day, second day, if you click on this, installation has started. So if you do with this, the installation will start. Same as it is what we have done. So I'm not going to do the installation. I'm just canceling it because all the steps we have done. So now what you can do, just to power off this machine here, turn off. The machine has been turned off. Okay. So this is how you can work through the VMware. So shall we have a break? The virtualization is completed. We'll have a break. After the break, we will be discussing the next topic, VPN. Okay, is it fine to have a break now? Okay, yes, it's fine. Please go ahead.
Uh, Sir, now we made some changes to install Hyper-V in
Yes,
our yes, sir. So
yes.
to do my previous practicals on the same DHCP, do I need to make the changes again?
No, only for Hyper-V. Already because our DC is created through VMware, no?
Yes, sir.
So VMware and Hyper-V are similar applications. So you cannot have two similar application on same machine.
Okay, sir.
For rest of the practical, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, sir.
Only to install this change we have to do.
Okay.
Rest of the things will work as it is.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll have a break now. After the break, we'll continue. So I'm keeping my mic in mute position. Yes, sir. Shall we continue? Okay, we'll start the next topic, and that will be the last topic for today. हाँ, कहाँ है? हाँ, खाली जीतने चाहिए। हाँ, छः, तीन, हाँ. So now we'll start the remote access service. That is nothing but VPN. So RAS is the service through which we can configure the. So using this service, we can configure the VPN server. So RAS is a service through which we can configure the VPN server. So what is VPN? Virtual Private Network. It is a server through which we can connect to our private network using the public network. So I repeat, VPN is a server through which we can connect to our private network from public network. Public network means internet from anywhere. So VPN is a server through which we can connect to the private network using the public network from anywhere, maybe from the home or from anywhere. So this is how the VPN will work. So suppose this is your VPN client. Suppose he is staying at the home and he want to connect to these servers. So the employees who are working in the company, they will connect to this server, but he want to connect from the home. Can it be possible? Yes. For that, VPN server should be configured in the company. If the VPN is not there, this user from his home, let us assume he is at the home and these users, they are at the office. So they will normally access these servers. So these are the servers which we need to access. So from the home, can this user access without VPN? No. But if the company is maintaining the VPN server, definitely yes. So VPN server is a server through which we can connect to the private network. This is your private network. So the servers are in the private network. So we can access the private network using the public network. So this is your internet. Internet works on which network? Public network. So using the public network, we can using the public network, we can access the private network with the help of the VPN server. So who is the mediator between private network and public network? VPN. Without this, you cannot. So now, first of all, this VPN client should have the internet on his laptop, and he need to create on VPN client machine. He has to create VPN connection. How to create a VPN connection? We'll see. So in his laptop, he has to create the VPN connection, and he should have the internet. So using this internet, the VPN client with the help of the internet using the VPN connection, it will connect to the VPN server. So using the VPN connection, the client will connect to the VPN server through internet, because the VPN server will have two interfaces. One interface will connect to the private network, one interface will be connected to the public network, internet. So using the internet to internet, so here this user is also having internet and this VPN server is also connected to the internet. So with internet to internet, you can connect from anywhere. So using the VPN connection with the help of this internet, this user will connect to the VPN server, which is at the office. In the office, it should be there. Now, once the VPN client connect to the VPN server with the domain controller will check for the authentication purpose. This so-and-so user can access the private server with so-and-so username. So the VPN server with the domain controller check whether this user should be allowed to access the private server or not. Because in the domain controller, the names of the users who should access the private server using VPN will be there. So now the VPN server authenticate. It will check with the domain controller. So once the username and password is verified, then what happen? The VPN server by itself or through the DHCP server will assign one private IP. So the company server is working on, suppose, this 10 dot network. So he will assign the 10 dot network one of the IP through by itself or through the DHCP server. It assign one private IP to the VPN client. So now it will work as if he is working with in the office. So this is the concept of the VPN. Okay, so this is how the VPN will work. So for the VPN connection, we require 3 machines. For today's practical, 3 machines we require, not 1 or 2 machines, 3 machines. So when the VPN client connect to the VPN server, it uses some protocol. So what is the commonly used protocol? PPTP. So PPT stands for point to point, point to point, tunneling protocol, point to point tunneling protocol, point to point tunneling protocol. Okay, so with this we have done the theory. So the practical shall we do today or tomorrow? VPN, it may take about 15 to 20 minutes. So shall we do it today? Practical VPN using 3 machines, or shall we do tomorrow? If you want today, we'll do today. If tomorrow means tomorrow. Yes, majority of you, what you will say? Okay, so please tell me majority. I think till now 1-1 or 1-2. How many people have logged in? Yes, Shashank, Pranav, Suresh, Vinay, you also please tell me. So majority, if you want today, I'll do today. Majority want tomorrow means we'll do tomorrow. I think now majority is going for tomorrow. Okay, then no problem. We have enough time. We took the sessions even on festival, so there is a lot of time. So we'll do it tomorrow. No problem. So any doubt, any questions before I close the session? Yes, any doubt? Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. I'm closing the session.